Now, before we even get started, this is where I'd explain who the person we're commentating on is and what their background is, but most of you watching this already know who Slothman Snake Boy is. But for the uneducated, let me summarize the Doodle situation. Now, Doodle Tones commentated on Just a Robot. Then Robot got his metallic panties in a bind and commentated back on the little sketch. And afterwards, big drama war happened. And that's how we got here. With Slothman Boy Snake 494 commentating on a dead horse a whole month after the fact.
Which, mind you, would be fine in most circumstances if the two didn't agree that all the drama was stupid and decided to bury the hatchet. So the fact you even went through with this video screams you wanting to start up some drama.
Or you're just simply trying to latch on to drama for the sake of views.
I mean, come on, I may be buzzed with Doodle, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna use Monster Reborn on a script to pay them back.
You couldn't go one gosh darn video about making a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, could you?
Turnendo.
Just play the video. Why in God's name am I doing this? Have I really sunk this low?
I feel like a little disclaimer is going to be needed here. I wasn't going to make this video. Okay, I was, but it collided with my top 10 overrated games list. And since at the time Movie Maker was all I had, I can only get one project out or the other. I ultimately went with the top 10 since I started working on that one already. So I sent my lines, scripts, and avatar pics to Henry, who agreed to edit it for me. He ended up taking too long, and eventually I decided to edit it on my own with Shotcut. I originally wanted this video to go up in June, but obviously that didn't happen. Also, I wrote my script the day I watched this video. I'm spiteful and stubborn, and I wasn't gonna let this opportunity fly by.
Okay, so let me understand this. You wrote this script when you first saw Jar's response to Doodle. That response was released on June 15th of 2016. Now, that's about a month of time, which could have been used to show the script to others so you could have had quality control, allowing for rewrites, edits, revisions, reshoots, anything you'd see an average commentator scripting checklist have. But you didn't do that, did you, Satanic Ekans?
To add on to that, why exactly are you getting your panties in a twist over this? I mean, I understand if you think you owe Doodle or something, but really, why still hold this grudge? Especially when the two who were in the midst of all of this decided to end the nonsense within a week or two of it starting. They even both told their viewers to not attack the other and just kind of forget about it.
In short, Sloth, Snake, Andrews, you essentially are digging up graves again.
Oh my god, your intro's the embodiment of 2012!
Quick! Look away! Shield the eyes of the children before he injects his venom into all of us!
Hey, what's this? 11 Pokemon that could destroy the world? Well, that doesn't sound so bad.
Okay, this is going to seriously bother me if I don't bring this up here. I get it, you're trying to be a robot, that's your character, but the way you speak is grating. It's as if you're a child trying to sound incredibly cool, but you wind up sounding more edgy than anything. It makes me want to play dodgeball in traffic.
It's always great when people start off a commentary with an ad hominem attack. Now, normally I don't care about ad hominem attacks, but the thing is, Doodle Tone does.
Even show off your real voice instead of using Speakonia. Use a different program. Or better yet, use your real voice.
Returning viewers will definitely know this, but the whole use your real voice argument seriously gets on my nerves. Same goes for the show us your real face argument. Neither of these critiques debunk anything anyone has to say. Instead, this is what is known as an ad hominem, which is basically something directed at a person instead of the argument that they hold.
So it's bad for Pikachu Gamer 64 to complain about someone using Speakonia, but it's a-okay for you to complain about me using a robot voice. You're such a hypocrite.
No, she is not a hypocrite. What you just showed actually works in her favor. Her complaint against Pikachu Gamer was that he was pulling the use your real voice argument. Doodle Tones was criticizing your robot voice because she thought the way you were doing it is annoying. She wasn't complaining that you weren't using your real voice. So, honestly, she's perfectly fine.
What?
Snake, why she criticized the robot voice doesn't change the fact it can be viewed as an ad hominem attack, as in both instances it's the commentator complaining about how the presenter presents their voice.
Which is, as described by Doodle in her commentary on Pikachu Gamer, is essentially an attack on the person and not their argument, aka an ad hominem attack.
Now I know what some of you are thinking. Hey, in your commentary on MGTOW Gangster, you pointed out that his microphone quality was bad at the beginning of your commentary. And yes, while I did tell him that, I also told him where he can get a good microphone, and I said this. I know that my robot voice is not the most pleasant thing to listen to, but at the very least it's something new. So at the very least I acknowledge that my robot voice isn't that good.
I told this to Jake Spider-Monkey 1994, and I'll tell you too. Pointing out your problems doesn't make them go away.
He was explaining why he used the robot voice. He wasn't trying to excuse his robot voice.
Or put it in the middle. I know this isn't a top 10, but you always have to save the best for last, and I wasn't sure if this one was the best, or the worst.
It's the worst, dude.
You, gonna explain why there, friend? I mean, saying that Electrode is just the worst Pokemon to choose for this list without explanation is rather unfortunate. I mean, you must know something I don't. Inform me, because as far as I'm concerned, Electrode isn't even the worst electric-type Pokemon for this list.
When I say it's the worst, I'm not saying it's the worst Pokemon ever. I'm saying it's the worst Pokemon on this list. Pay attention to what he says before I say it's the worst.
Hey, fuckface! Take your own advice! Did you not pay attention to what Doodle said? She was complaining that you didn't elaborate on what you meant, stupid. Way to claim Doodle as a hypocrite and then right after make yourself out to be a hypocrite as well.
It's a good thing this unnecessary angry outburst was here to help me remember that this is a Jewish Viper video. And it was even complete with edgy insults that lack any originality and stuttering. At least he's consistent.
This isn't a top 10, but you always have to save the best for last, and I wasn't sure if this one was the best, or the worst.
If you want me to elaborate why it's the worst Pokemon on this list, he says this about it.
One Electrode alone would not be enough to destroy the world.
He doesn't say that about any of the other Pokemon, just Electrode.
That still doesn't change the fact that you should have explained in your original video. Why should we have to sit around playing Trivial Pursuit as to what you meant when you could prove your point like a good commentator would?
Maybe he thought it was self-explanatory. It's not like everything needs to be spoon-fed to the audience.
This is probably fine in the Pokemon world, since we've seen them explode many times without causing too much damage. But that wouldn't be the same in our world. You see, Electrodes store their energy under very high pressure, so when they explode, you can be sure they will cause great damage. This probably isn't reflected in the anime because it's a kid show. Electrode are also very attracted to electricity, and the problem is, only a small shock is enough to set them off. Actually, its Pokedex entry in Omega Ruby states that during thunderstorms, you can see Electrode exploding everywhere, which brings me to my next point. One Electrode alone would not be enough to destroy the world, but if all the Electrodes started blowing up, they definitely could.
If every Electrobe's explosion was the size of a few megatons, then yeah, they could possibly destroy the world, but Electrobe explosions are the size of grenade explosions. If every single grenade on Earth blew up, yeah, it would cause quite a lot of damage, but nowhere near enough to destroy the world.
Evidence, please. I mean, the burden of proof is on you. I can't find shit all that claims Electrode's explosions are the size of grenades.
Well then, let's take a look at a few Electrobe explosions.
それに、マルマインは生き物なのかどうか未だに不明と言われておるが、そのわけはじゃな。はい、お口をあーんしてごらん。
Okay, so our first example didn't do any damage to the laboratory or Professor Oak, but maybe the Electrobe was just a low level. Let's take a look at some others.
I choose you. Wrong Pokemon. Train that thing. Electrode. Allahu Akbar.
Okay, this explosion was pretty big. However, you could make the argument that the explosion was a combined effort of the Electrobe and the hot air balloon's fuel tank. Let's do two more.
Yeah, let's not. And I'm gonna bring this up now since it happens throughout the video. Bro, you drag out your points way too much. I've been sitting here for about 2 minutes and you've only shown 2 examples. One with Electrode using possibly a different move and another with an unnecessary ISIS joke. Just bring up one example to prove your point and that's it. That's all you need. Oh, and it's pronounced Electrode, not Electrobe, you idiot.
One example. And that's it. Couldn't someone say it's an isolated example and then move on, shrugging off your point? I mean, one example isn't enough to totally convince some of your viewers, so you're gonna have to add at least a couple more. The key is to not drag it out.
Also, 2 minutes? Besides the fact it's closer to just over a minute, there's another issue I have. That being you calling his ISIS joke unnecessary. So, how do you explain all those unnecessary fits of rage scattered across all of your videos? All the hypocrisy is just too much. I need to lie down.
Green is not a creative color.
As soon as he even starts to erupt volcanoes, America would just nuke him.
I mean, I could bring up the fact that Groudon is practically the god of land, bring up several hypotheticals that put you in an awkward position, or I could just take the easy way out and point to its Pokemon Emerald Pokedex entry where it says it just awakening this thing causes volcanoes to erupt.
Yeah, but how many volcanoes will erupt? 50? 500? All of them? All of them? The thing is, the Pokédex just says that volcanoes will erupt. Not all the volcanoes will erupt.
Also, the repercussions of killing a god that created the land we stand on is definitely something to take into account.
Whoa, what?
Also, the repercussions of killing a god that created the land we stand on is definitely something to take into account.
Groudon created the land in the Pokemon world, not the land in our world. Do you even know what you're talking about anymore?
Oh, calm your circuitry, you know what she meant. And that still doesn't negate her argument that killing Groudon would be pretty disastrous.
Does he? Does he really know? Does he, Christian Elephant? Because if he did know, then I don't think this point would be here.
Also, playing devil's advocate for Jar here, it does refute the argument as the Pokemon world and our world are different. Sure, Doodle was arguing based on us being in the Pokemon world, but Jar was arguing based on them being separate. And that's not even taking into account you didn't even try to refute the point he made.
This scenario would be similar to the one with Groudon, except oceans would overflow, thunderstorms would cause massive damage, and tsunamis would destroy everything. Kyogre doesn't need to go primal for any of it either.
Now, I could use the same argument I used for Groudon, but I'm going to do something else this time. Earlier in the video, you said this.
I'm talking about the actual destruction of the Earth, not humanity.
Now, if the Earth was flooded, it wouldn't be destroyed. It would just be, well, covered in water. What even is your definition of being destroyed? This is my definition of being destroyed.
Large amounts of flooding can't destroy the Earth until it does. Storms can't cause damage until they do.
Doodle Tones does this a lot. She seems to think me saying that something won't destroy the Earth equals it won't do any damage at all, which is completely false. It's kind of like if someone says, if the polar ice caps melted, the entire Earth would be destroyed.
Well, it's your fault that she supposedly misunderstood you because the concept of clarification seems to have escaped you.
Whoa. It's Jar's fault that Doodle misunderstood him? I mean, I guess you can make a decent point from this if you actually bother to clarify yourself, like how you keep asking Jar to clarify himself. Wait, now we're back to calling you a hypocrite again. Ah, crap. Someone just shoot me.
Okay.
The hell, man, I wasn't being legit! Wait. Should I ask why you have a shotgun on hand in the first place?
Cartoon logic, remember?
You've been dying to use that against me since this video began, haven't you?
Yep.
But more to the point, water causes not only issues to civilization. If you want to take out civilization issues, then it can cause issues with erosion too. It can also kill all the plant life out on Earth if Kyogre fucking comes in with a flood. That wouldn't be out of place in the Pokemon Old Testament. And sure, while he breaks the rules of his own list, I'm not faulting you there. However, what I can fault you for is if you're only including natural issues.
The entire Earth being covered in water is not a natural issue.
Yes, it is, you fucking retard. Water is a part of nature.
Hey, Sloth, remember that word clarification? Yeah, you're not doing it again. I mean, it's not too hard to argue Jar's point. Heck, I bet Mr. Awesome could do it for you right now if he tried.
Having knowledge of events in the Christian Bible, if we take into account Noah's flood, then technically the world has been flooded before. And we're still here.
See, Sloth, now that's a decent point. That can argue Jar's point. But you're a nihilist, I remember. Your name clearly tells us. So I assume you don't believe that actually happened. In which case, I must ask, how is the world flooding a freaking natural thing? Your entire point can be summed up as, herb de derp, water exists! And by that logic, the whole world can burn like a blazing sun, because fire exists. And I doubt you're the chosen one. Hell, I ain't bragging, because you are no American dragon. Oh, God, what has my life become?
The fact that Kyogre can do a lot of damage to the Earth as it is. Try again.
My argument isn't Kyogre can't do any damage. My argument is Kyogre can't do enough damage to destroy the Earth. Just because something can do a lot of damage to the Earth doesn't mean it can destroy the Earth.
One could argue that if enough damage is dealt to a specific thing, it will get destroyed.
Mr. A, I have a question.
Yes?
Why does Sloth keep asking Jar for clarification and to elaborate his points, and then turns right back around and doesn't elaborate or clarify his own?
Cause he's an edgy hypocrite.
That note, math isn't my strong suit, so I'll be skipping the Mega Blastoise segment.
You have got to be kidding me! It doesn't matter if math is your strong suit or not. What he's saying is so blatantly wrong. He's saying that something that can rip through solid steel, increased by 50%, can destroy the Earth. That's like saying 1 plus 2 equals 420 octillion.
But if she's not good at math, then she wouldn't be able to argue with you and therefore look like a total idiot. You kind of want to avoid doing that when arguing. And I'm no math whiz either, but if you increase the power of something that can rip through solid steel by 50%, then you'd be able to pierce through diamonds, the hardest substance on Earth. So there could be a chance of Armageddon if we calculate this just right.
Hey Venom, Jar's point wasn't that Doodle should try to argue his math regardless. The bucket of bolts was saying that it should be clear as day that something like this couldn't destroy the Earth, given the evidence he's refuting. Pay attention, and as Doodle would say, try again.
I think I can hear Doodle dying a little inside.
Do you know how hot the surface of the sun is? 9,940 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's over 9,000!
But that's still not as hot as Macargo's body temperature, which is almost double at 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is obviously not a problem in the Pokemon world for whatever reason, but that wouldn't work here. Macargo could destroy our world just by being close to it, and that probably makes it one of the most dangerous Pokemon on this list.
Now granted, that would cause a lot of damage, but nuclear explosions are far hotter and way bigger than a few 100,000 Macargos.
This does not prove Mango Man wrong, though. All you really do is imply nukes don't do damage to the Earth on their own.
What? My argument is, we have things on Earth that are way hotter than twice the surface of the sun. If they can't destroy the Earth, then Macargo can't destroy the Earth. And not just nukes, we have plasma cutters that are far hotter than Macargo.
Celsius? Celsius? How fucking retarded are you? Your grammar is fucking awful! Just for that, I refuse to take you seriously.
Oh shit, here comes that rage. Oh shit, what up?
Dude, he made one grammatical error. If one small error makes you not able to take him seriously, then going by your logic, we shouldn't take you seriously because you keep stuttering over your words.
Close to it.
Oh god, it's funny every single time.
Seeing as it's approximately 2 times hotter than the sun, if my grade school math is correct.
He's only twice as hot as the surface of the sun. Here's how hot the sun's core is.
The sun alone, if it was closer to our Earth, hell, the sun as it is now can cause wildfires. Being in Colorado, I should know this firsthand. Imagining what it would do if it was closer to the Earth makes me wonder how can you argue this point is.
Just because something is as hot as something doesn't mean it's as powerful. The sun is several times bigger than the Earth, and Macargo is the size of a dog.
It would depend on how many Macargos there are. If there was only one Macargo on Earth, then yeah, it wouldn't destroy the Earth. But if there were enough to encircle the planet, then yeah, we'd all be dead.
A few Macargos that are scattered few and far between on this thing we call an Earth.
That's not even accounting for the ratio of wild Macargos to ones nestled in Pokeballs. From what I can tell, if worse comes to worse, we'd have a bunch of wildfires caused by dog-sized lava snails.
Especially seeing as Macargo, being in the woods would kill probably half the wildlife in that woods. You know, partially destroying the world.
Well, partially destroying the Earth doesn't equal destroying the whole Earth. Also, another thing about Magmar.
Okay, now, stop. I'm skipping the rest of this point since what I say covers it completely. I don't care if you are bad at names. If you acknowledge a flaw after recording a line, then retake it. There is no reason for this obvious problem to be here, especially considering that Magmar and Macargo are pretty hard to mix up.
Dude, seriously, you are petty as hell. I mean, skipping his entire argument because he made a little oopsie with the names. I can't imagine how many times you skipped one of my points where I called you a different name, huh, Islamic Rattler?
I feel like we've gone through every possible scenario of how our world could end, But the entire planet freezing? Yeah, I don't think we've covered that yet. Out of all the Ice-type legendary Pokemon, Kyurem is probably the only one that can accomplish that. During Black 2 and White 2, Team Plasma froze Opelucid City with the help of Kyurem and some technology. But that's the Pokemon world. If we've learned anything during all of this, it's that the Pokemon world is a lot more resistant than ours. So I have no doubt in my mind that Kyurem could freeze our entire planet and end life as we know it.
The only thing we learned so far is that you're an idiot. Even if your argument about the Pokemon world being more resistant than our world was correct, it would have to be a few million times more resistant. Here's the landmass of New York City, and this is the landmass of the entire Earth. You may have noticed that the landmass of the entire Earth is a bit more than 50% bigger than New York City. No, I'm not going to let that go.
So, the Pokemon world isn't more resistant than the human world.
What? Can you even speak English?
You are in no position to talk about English comprehension given how you can't even spell the word Celsius correctly.
Oh, for the love of God, let it go.
Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back
No, stop,
anymore.
we'll get taken down.
English. My argument isn't the Pokemon world is not more resistant. My argument is, if it is more resistant, it would have to be a few million times more resistant. Yeah, the Pokemon world is probably more resistant, but you can't just say something that would destroy a city in one world would destroy the entire planet in another world.
Technically, yes you can. Pulling up a DC Comics example, Darkseid's planet Apocalypse can handle constant eruptions and lava flows due to the fact that the planet is slathered in anti-life. If that were to happen on Earth, both DC and real Earth, it would be destroyed in a matter of minutes, maybe a little less than that. The Pokemon Earth was obviously designed by its creators to take insane amounts of destruction. How else would there be Pokemon battles every day? And this is probably the biggest thing in my favor. Rock and ground type Pokemon know the move Earthquake. If they use that move casually in battle and the planet hasn't eroded into itself by now, the Pokemon Earth can definitely make our Earth its bitch.
So, this may come off as nitpicky, but if I can be honest, the DC Comics example seems a little unnecessary, especially considering you gave us another more relevant example that would do just fine on its own, further proving your hypocrisy regarding unnecessary length to points made.
Also, if the planet did freeze over, humanity still could survive.
That would be reliant on how much of the Earth has frozen over. If all forms of sustainable life had been eliminated, we as humans would die, which is probably what the countdown maker in the question was trying to get across.
I'm talking about the actual destruction of the Earth, not humanity.
Whoops, did I leave that there? Silly me.
Oh, Mr. A, you silly goose.
Huh, there's a specific Pokemon you didn't discredit that proves you wrong. Wonder who it could be. Oh right, Macargo discredits your whole argument here. Hey Robot, do me a huge favor and go hug the sun. Just get into a rocket ship and fly to the sun, then tell me how their world isn't more resistant to shit like that.
Just a lightning bolt explosion often exceeds the heat of 90,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's roughly 5 times hotter than Macargo.
Hopefully I don't have to bring this up anymore. Again, if there were enough Macargo on Earth to live on every continent and country, then yes, they could possibly destroy the Earth. Same for your lightning strike example. If lightning strikes completely blanketed the Earth, we'd all die.
Ignoring how people can survive lightning strikes, and ignoring how lightning even works, and ignoring how impossible your hypothetical actually is, where's your proof? How did you come to this conclusion? I mean, say what you will, but at least Jar actually bases his conclusions on research he's done and shows that research to his audience. Meanwhile, you do jack squat.
Anything it sees. So that technically means anything, right? Then it would be really unfortunate if a Ditto came to Earth and decided to destroy it, because it totally could. Think about any day in your life. What do you usually see outside? The sun. If Ditto wanted to destroy the planet, all it would have to do is transform into the sun while on Earth. That alone would instantly destroy the planet.
I don't think it's ever implied in any of the shows or any of the games that Ditto can transform into something that big or that far away.
Well, no, but there's nothing that implies Electro's explosion is comparable to that of a grenade either.
Aloha Bar.
Zekyle.
I give up.
Also, Mew has the ability to transform, so shouldn't she or he or it be on the list?
Well, Ditto is much more known for transformation, and even if he was, this doesn't prove the original guy wrong. Look, Robot, I don't fault you for the majority of these mistakes. Honestly, the fact that you weren't looking at the differences between the two worlds, which is where a lot of this original list comes from, is where a lot of the issues from your video comes from.
But I do know that the Pokemon world is more resistant than our world. However, you can't just say something that would freeze over a city in the Pokemon world would freeze our entire planet over in our world. Yes, we do know that the Pokemon world is more resistant than our world.
Exactly, so I'm ending it here. The video is basically over and he just gives his final thoughts on Doodle, which is just a stupid Filthy Frank joke.
Well, if that's the case, then I guess we're cutting you off here, because screw logic. So anyway, final thoughts?
Alright, so Sloth, Snake, Antichrist, whatever you want to be called. Please don't revive disregarded scripts on the sole basis of paying back someone else. Especially if you're not going to show it to anyone before recording your lines and putting it together. As not only are you trying to revive the drama between Doodletones and Jar, but you didn't even do that good of a job at debunking Jar's points. For instance, you could bring up the fact he's going against a statement he made in his first video where he states the Pokemon world is not more resistant than our world, in contrary to his video you covered where he says it is more resistant. But instead, you had to launch a crap ton of ad hominem attacks and introduce a bunch of hypotheticals, all of which you didn't even provide proof that you even did research to come to your conclusion for. In short, your venom is not effective on a robot.
Welcome, ladies and germs. This is a syndicate of outcasted commentators gracing you with our appearance.
Today we're doing a commentary on Roaring Thunder Pursuit's response to Blazing Run's commentary on him.
Oh, and we had this in the planning for a very long time now, but it took a while to actually greenlit, but because we're, well, lazy idiots. But we're here now, so calm your tits.
Okay, I feel this is as good of a time as any to bring up the elephant in the room, but guys, if it took you so damn long to make the commentary, so long in fact that Roaring Thunder Pursuit had been dead, given a proper funeral, and buried alongside all the Pepsi cans, then why would you make the commentary? I understand having the desire to make a commentary, but trust me and many other commentators that sometimes you need to scrap a video if it stays so long in development that it becomes irrelevant or downright unnecessary.
My favorite YouTuber, #1 fan, Blazing Rants and Commentaries.
What'd you say? I couldn't hear you over your music there for a second.
Mav? I hate to break it to you, but I don't know what you're talking about. Was this part supposed to be somewhere else in the video? Because if it wasn't, then I think Mav may need to get the gunk out of his pointy fairy boy ears.
She made 2 videos about me, one like 13 minutes and one 56 seconds. But before I get started, I liked the video already, and I commented saying loved it before I even got started. Alright, I ain't even watched it yet. I probably saw the first 30 seconds, and I thought to myself, she gon' kill me.
You liked the video and left a comment saying you loved it? If you're trying to troll her, fail troll is fail. Because the #1 rule of trolling is that you never publicly state that you're a troll, fucktard.
I don't think RTP is trying to troll. If RTP was trying to troll, I don't think he would have said something. From what I'm getting at here, I think RTP is trying to add a disclaimer that tries to prove to the audience that he isn't a mindless hater of Blaze, as he shows an appreciation and a positive response to her video.
Alright now, Revy is back and I'm commentating again, so it's open season, baby! Let's see who's unfortunate enough to get in my line of sight.
Oh shit, she got a sniper scope?
Oh, joy.
That's hardcore shit.
Wow, you are easily impressed. Well, now instead of a Master Sword, I will have a gun for the rest of this video.
Fucking God, if you're gonna talk over her, lower her fucking volume. Normally, I'd prefer if you just shut the fuck up altogether, but I'm commentating on you, so I kinda need to know what you're saying.
I think I know of a better solution here. How about getting your hands on a video downloader? Hey, I know everyone said it already, but it would help.
Mav's statement seems kinda pointless here, since all he really says is that RTP is easily impressed. Does it counter any of his points? Is it simply a joke? No and no? Then why keep it in? In Sloth's comment, why bringing up a decent point that RTP shouldn't have Blaze's audio drown him out, also had very unnecessary anger added onto it at the end. Yeah, it's loud, but it shouldn't be enough to trigger you. That Kermit fan is the only one here whose point is good with nothing bogging it down. So why not just make that the cutaway? There is no rule stating that all three of you need to talk every time you cut away. Besides, you guys hardly interact anyway, so what's the point?
I was originally going to commentate on RTP's video directed at Michael Schomer. However, I was too slow, and Gail got to it before me. I'll put a link to her commentary in the description.
Wait, there's another one? I gotta watch that one too. Oh shit, the link in the description box said strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. Holy shit. Alright, let me continue. I'm just wasting time right here.
Nah, you think? Oh, and just a point of fact, shit like this happens a lot in this video, so when he does it, I'm just gonna skip it.
You know, these guys actually bring a pretty understandable point. Leaving a pointless filler in your commentary can drag out the video and bore the audience. Which is why it's a good thing you guys didn't keep in audio slip-ups, arguments that don't add any substance to your commentary, as well as numerous things that slow down the pace. What's that? They kept them all in? Well, hello, Pot. Name's Kettle. Nice to meet ya. I'd also like to point out that, while I understand the reason you probably left all that in, so that you can prove RTP drags out his video for such a long-ass time, but did you really have to play the entire part without dropping in even once? Heck, you could have brought up how long and boring that makes his video in an audio duck during his long, drawn-out moment, saving all of us a hell of a lot of time.
You acted like a bitch, and for 6 minutes on a one-shot. Oh wait, I am sorry, shots. Then just brought up more reasons why you are wrong. Here is a hint on the name. A one-shot means you only have 1 point to interject. Nothing is plural with one. GG, dipshit. GG.
Wait, were you correcting yourself, or were you talking to Blazin? I honestly cannot tell thanks to your shitty video construction skills.
If you're referring to him reading the comment and lip-syncing it, no. It was neither of those things. RTP was just reading a comment that Caden Marks made on his one-shot on Michael Schomer. And how do I know that it was a comment that Caden Marks made? By doing this wonderful thing called research. By looking at Blazin' Rance's video that provided Caden Marks' comment on the original video. If it's neither of those things, then I don't know as to what you're talking about, and you need to clarify with us a bit more.
In fact, his argument wasn't even about editing at all. His point was about your adamant refusal to use any kind of video downloader for your
How can I refuse? How could I refuse? How could I refuse? How could I refuse? You about to make me like how could I refuse to not want to download? I want to. I really want to. But how could I refuse to do something I want to do when the stuff that I want to do with the stuff I want to do with isn't available to me because the shit is broken or the shit is too goddamn expensive?
Here's a brilliant idea. Don't make videos until you can actually do what you want to do. I'm not saying this just to tell them to quit. I legit think that you should stop for the moment and come back when you get your tech issues sorted out.
Or how about this? Don't make videos at all.
Finally! Sloth Boy, for once, makes a decent point with nothing bogging it down. Except for Mob, whose comment ends up not only being pointless, but ends up contradicting what Sloth said. Great.
And several free video downloading software.
I can't download
which
it.
are very easy to install.
My
There are
shit is
even
broken.
more that
I
don't
told-
require installing. You instead
didn't
prefer
watch
to
my
use
video.
a camera and a mic to record clips in very scratchy, grainy,
You know what? You know what? She's right. I do. It's not crystal clear like Screw Attack's video or the Saiyan 17's video or like High YouTuber. It's not because like I told you, my shit is broken. I can't download stuff. I can't use my PC. I have no money. My wallet is broke. I can't even find my wallet right now. But you know what? Let's talk more about how bad my quality is. It's so crappy. It's so crappy. Right? My quality is so crappy. That Hulk versus Doomsday, my death battle, has 97,000 people watching it. 97,000. 97,000 people. Goku vs. Superman 2 Death Battle. 35,000 views. And on it, I have over 1,000 likes. To me, that is an accomplishment because I have never gotten 1,000 likes before. You know, I do this as a hobby. So when I saw 1K likes, I freaked out. Like, oh, bro. But like, at the end of the day, my crappy quality my camera and my mic is getting me, you know, a lot of good attention. And if you did not know, ScrewTac also tweeted about me because of my crappy quality. Well, no, not really because of my crappy quality. They noticed me. They really did. They tweeted about Manny Cruz. And I'll link it in the description below. I'll link their Twitter in the description below. And I'll screen cap it for you on top of that. But you know what? I'll link it in the description below. They actually tweeted about me. So what's up?
You want to go red boxing?
Alright, that's enough. The reason your death battles got so many views is because people are already fans of Death Battle to start with. But like I said before, Blazin meant the shitty quality of your commentaries, since that's all we know you for. You can't just go around apple picking your other videos with the best reception to try and shield your shitty videos. That's just underhanded.
But even then, that's implying his death battles had the quality to them to begin with. Seriously, recording a Mugen match or editing a death battle that ScrewTac already made is apparently hard work that deserves to be recognized. You know, I feel like I'm missing something here.
And the fact that DBZ characters always win, I mean, I guess someone's in denial.
But Sloth, RTP uses similar quality throughout all of his videos. What you could have said was something like, views don't judge quality, or something. And all three of you don't need to speak for every interjection. You can do it with just one talking.
He even stole Caden's outro and attempted to pass it off as his own by plastering images.
Did you really say I try to pass it off as my own? Really? Really? So you are going to make the theoretical assumption that I used his outro and passed it off as my own. Please show me where. What proof do you have that my motivation was to pass that outro off as my own outro, as if I had created that outro? The reason why, I don't have to tell you the reason why I used the outro, but the reason why I used the outro, because I just liked using the outro. I just felt like using it. I just wanted to just because. So you're going to sit here and make the assumption that I stole it just to make it seem like it was my own?
Did you ask Caden to use it? Did he say you could? If not, then yes, you are a thief. Now you're under arrest.
You know what's funny, Sloth Boy? There was actually a pretty good point here, and you didn't bring it up at all. Let me tell you. You could have pointed out to RTP that even if his intentions weren't to pass off the outro as his own, due to the way that he presented it, it can lead an audience to assume as much.
I'm done.
This video was disappointing. Slothboy was unnecessarily angry for a lot of his points. The chemistry between you three was weak sauce, and you made it very obvious that all three of you were reading from a script. Oh, and let's not forget the fact that it's in March 2016 that you guys decided to make a commentary on Roaring Thunder Pursuit, who hasn't been relevant in months. And while I understand your reason, because I understand life gets in the way sometimes, but if it takes so damn long that the video in question is not only irrelevant, but has also been erased from existence, then I'd say that those are the signs from the heavens to scrap the video and move along. And now, if you'll all excuse me, I've got to put Roaring Thunder Pursuit back in his grave, because you three thought it'd be a good idea to raise the dead. You know, I might as well bury you three as well. Guess what? Burials for everyone!
But I'm not dead yet.
You are now.
Going down my subscription list. No new Xeric, no new Ryan, no new Clay. What's this? The Fiery Henry makes a commentary on me? Well, I bet it's glorious and will be a fun watch, informative, and great criticism. Oy vey, what the heck did you make, Henry? So yeah, I didn't like Henry's commentary. But I want to clear some things up. I did not hate it because it was on me. I've liked commentaries that are on me before. Ask Dale Rockman or Omega Vio, who both made commentaries on me in the past, and I thought those commentaries are pretty good. But there are points in Henry's video that I just can't agree with, including one thing that actually pissed me off. Also, I'm going to be using Poison as my avatar for two reasons. One, I'd rather use myself as an avatar, but I don't want to confuse viewers. And second, because he used Poison in the last commentary on Henry, and we might as well make it a tradition.
Now, the real audio is just Justin Bieber's bullshit song, Baby. So I changed the audio to a more better song. It's called Le Vase d'Amélie, which is French for The Waltz of Amelie. Enjoy.
you kidding me? Wow. I'm not even gonna comment on the person he's commentating on, but did you just cut yourself off? You cut yourself off. Editing. Re-listening to your video before you post it to see if there's any hiccups. Things like that can improve the quality of your video.
I find that hilarious because earlier in the video you made a similar mistake. Please take your own advice next time.
Please remember that Henry said that, because that's gonna bite him straight in the ass later.
This video is not already started yet, but I'm already mad. Your grammar is horrible.
Since this is your first commentary, I'm gonna let it slide that you actually used the few seconds in cliche, but please don't do that ever again. I'm just gonna warn you there.
Hey buddy, you missed the fact that he had horrible grammar as well in there. You should probably have pointed that out.
So your only complaint with that was that I didn't point out something. Wow, Henry. To quote your own words later in the video, how petty can you get?
What? No, dude, seriously, I can think of people that are more amazing than Justin Bieber.
I am ignoring the fact that he's basically doing a commentary on a troll, because if you're gonna do a commentary on someone doing a commentary on a troll, you need to forget that they're doing a commentary on a troll, because people say that way too much. But I am gonna say this. Don't cut off anyone in any commentary. Just say a one-off line a bunch of times. You can do that occasionally, but don't do it for almost every point in your video.
Objection! I feel this is a really ill-timed point. Indeed, you should have made this point later in the video. Then say he was making a lot of pointless statements, and then show a few clips of previous statements to back up your point. Showing it here is like the first pointless statement he's made, so it just seems like you're nitpicking. Also, ND, if you're not gonna bring up the he's a troll point, don't bother putting it in your video in the first place.
Well, I agree, I should have made that claim later in the video rather than early, but here's the problem with this point, Henry. You're contradicting something you said earlier.
Play the clip. I find that hilarious because earlier in the video you made a similar mistake. Please take your own advice next time.
Earlier you said I made a similar mistake to Sec Boy, but you never show a clip proving this. And now you're asking me to move my point to a later point, and then show clips to prove my point. The thing is, you shouldn't be telling me to back up my points if you're not gonna back up yours.
Real mature.
That's something I'm tired of hearing in any argument. When someone just says something and then your only comeback is real mature, it doesn't make you come off any more mature. It makes you actually come off pretty immature.
How does that make him immature? He's saying real mature because they said something that's pretty immature. You could say something like, oh, real mature is a real generic statement, which would be fine and dandy because it is. Instead you're saying it makes you come off as immature. How?
You need an explanation on how that's immature? Oh, again, here's the thing, Henry. It's immature to say real mature, because it sounds like he had nothing else to say there, and he was just filling in space by saying something, thereby acting like a little kid on the playground who couldn't think of a good comeback and said, I know what you are, but what am I? See? That comes off as immature. Now, I can understand that flying over someone's head, but to make it the subject of your entire point is just... no.
I'm not trying to be hard on you because this is your first commentary. Just don't do that ever again.
MD, this is your 11th. Please stop being repetitious. I'm usually okay with skip screens, except when they're pretty freaking long.
My skip screen was only 9 seconds long. It wasn't nearly as long as the clip I skipped. And while we're on the subject, the way you word that makes it come off like the skip screen was 30 seconds long or something.
Okay, at the time the video was made, he was 15 years old. He is now 20. His girlfriend, however, is also 20 or 19. So, Larkman Killer is not a pedophile. Anyways, that is the worst insult ever. That's not a nice thing to say. Do you even know how serious pedophilia is? Don't take it as a joke. There are billions of children who don't have a childhood thanks to sick fucks.
next time you do a commentary, make sure to stock up on more pictures of your avatar. You can't just have 3 or 4 pictures of an avatar and say that's enough pictures. And second, most insults are not very nice things to say. That's why they're called insults.
Seriously, you're complaining about how many avatar pictures he has. How petty can you get? And to refute your point, he had at least 10 or so. He definitely didn't have 3 or 4, my friend. And moving on to your second point, I love how you missed the dark humor as a thing. Literally, that destroys his point a lot better. Gotcha!
I'm gonna destroy both of your points right here and right now. 1. So what? It's still boring to see the same couple of visuals flash over and over again with little variety. This is something Zurich told me in my first commentary, because visuals are important to the video. Second, what does black humor gotta do with anything? You make no evidence to prove how this is black humor at any point. Heck, Sackboy wasn't even joking, he was being serious. Or could you not tell?
Wait a minute, he was being a woman throughout this entire commentary. Okay, I'm done.
Hey Henry, do you want to know why I was being a woman the entire commentary? Because I am! Okay? I don't know how you don't seem to read descriptions or how you don't seem to be paying attention to anybody, but the thing is, I am a woman. I identify as female, I am a transgender individual, and it just shows how disrespectful you are and how egotistical you are that you think you can get away with a joke like that. Oh, and I read the comments. Your little discussion with Half-Boiled Hero, who is by the way making the same point but less angry, brought up the fact that, you know, I'm a transgender, I identify as female, which makes me a woman, and you said it was a joke. This is not a funny joke. This is an offensive joke. This is wrong, this is disrespectful, and screw you, Fiery Henry. Okay, I've calmed down. What are my final thoughts? Henry, what the heck? You're a moderately good commentator with a few hiccups here and there, but this is probably your worst since your commentary with Jim99's show on Give and Take, which was also pretty bad. But nevertheless, you come off as egotistical, you seem to be biased, you act like you hate me, and I'm pretty sure you do, and you're just disrespectful. Dude, my advice to you is if you want me to take you seriously and subscribe to you again, stop being a dick.